Recording in progress.
Good evening, and welcome to this meeting of the Old Kings Highway Committee of the Town of Yarmouth, which is being held in accordance with Chapter 470 of the Acts of 1973 as amended at 7:15 p.m. on Monday, April 14th, 2025, at the Yarmouth Town Hall Hearing Room located at 1146 Route 28, South Yarmouth. Moreover, pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, considering certain COVID-19 measures, this meeting is being run in hybrid mode, by which I mean there is active live participation. There will be undoubtedly some Zoom participation as well. 11 new applications for certificates of appropriateness will be heard this evening in the order listed on the agenda. The agenda actually says 12, but one of the applications has been withdrawn. That's the third one on the agenda. Will not be heard tonight. Please be reminded that our committee's main purpose is to review items for appropriateness and setting, and it is the responsibility of the applicant to comply with the regulations of other town boards and departments, including building, conservation, engineering, health, zoning, and the sign inspector. You should know that there is a 10 calendar day appeal period starting once a decision is filed with the town clerk. Any person aggrieved by our decision tonight can appeal to the Regional Commission of the Old Kings Highway Historic District. Our office administrator, Lisa Sherman, will be happy to answer any questions you may have regarding this process. So with regard to process, as some of you may know, our process here is to have the applicant and or the applicant's representative or representatives come before us to the table, speak into the microphones, identify yourself or yourselves, and state your application without interruption from members of the committee or the public, after which I will ask the committee to make comments and ask questions about the application, and following that, members of the public, especially abutters, will be free to ask questions and make comments. And for that purpose, if you would stand at the podium to my front left, speak into the microphone, and likewise identify yourself and state your case. So the first item on the agenda tonight is 25-A028. It's to install 31 solar panels on the front and rear roofs at 85 Weir Road. Rahib Basil is the owner, and Sunrun Installation Services is the agent, and I recognize the agent.
Good evening, Steve Kelly from Sunrun, and we have a project at 85 Weir Road. We're proposing a total of 31 panels, 18 on the front in a rectangular array, and then we got the remaining 13 panels on the rear. The home is a two-family, so we have a lot of penetrations in the rear, so we weren't able to get more panels there. And we tried to make it a rectangular array with our black-on-black panels with a black skirt on the front of it. That's it.
Thank you, Steve. Questions or comments from the committee?
The roof looks relatively new, and it's a dark gray, which is a good thing.
We'll take good things.
I have only one comment, which is that Weir Road is deemed to be a historic byway, interestingly enough. That designation was assigned to it and other roads in the town of Yarmouth by the planning board in 1975, 50 years ago. Parenthetically, those designations have not been reviewed since, and I personally feel it's high time that they were. Other than that, I have no comments. Are there any comments or questions from the public? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion on this application.
I move to approve 25-A028.
I second that.
Motion has been moved and seconded. All in favor kindly signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. I wasn't here.
And
so.
aye.
So, John, you can do it if you want.
Aye. Thank you.
I miscounted. I thought there were 5.
No,
Paula
we're,
wasn't here for the most of it, so.
okay. It's
passed. I
okay,
think it
John.
passed,
We are only allowed to have 5 votes, so there are 6 of us sitting currently at the
Split the
table.
vote.
But Paula arrived late, so
Yeah, I'm the
John
late
got in
Paula
under the
Morrison,
wire.
So just bear with me.
Okay, Steve. So,
I called you to say it was going to be late.
I saw your text.
okay, great. That's correct. Thank you.
Two.
Too, Steve. Good luck, thank you.
He said it was the 14th. I actually wrote the 12th. I fixed it.
Do you always get the top to match your nails?
Did John sign? Do you wish to sign, John? Okay.
I'm sorry. I deprived you of signing.
Yeah. Apparently she's going to be a fixer.
That's right. It's adopting the minimalist form of governance. Mr. Musk will be very proud of me.
The next item on the agenda is 25-A029. It's to install 22 solar panels on the rear roof at 11 Apache Drive. Daniel Kunhart is the owner, and My Generation Energy is the agent. And who do we have this evening?
Don't see them up there.
Daniel Conrad, is he there?
Don't see any of them up there.
That's too bad. Look like he's here.
Looks like we should move on. Still waiting, Lisa?
Yeah, she's,
Yeah, it seems to be her issue.
is it,
You trying to get on?
Give them just a few more minutes.
There's something.
Oh, good.
hi there.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi there.
Oh, great, you can hear me. Hi, my name's sorry about that. My name's Diane Addison. I'm with My Generation Energy, representing the Kuhnharts. And this is very straightforward. It is a 22 panel system, all black modules, all located on the back of the house. So it's not even visible from any parts of the road.
Is that it, Diane?
That's all.
Okay. Questions or comments from the committee?
So Diane, the roof looked a little old. Is there any thought of replacing the roof? I mean, I don't know, just the front roof, which they're not going on,
Plus
but.
it was gray, sort of.
I mean, it doesn't really matter, the fact that it's light gray, it can't be visible from the road, but just in terms of the owner, did they consider replacing the roof?
We did. We talked about the roof. I got up on the roof and the granulars are solid. They're not sliding off the roof. So I think that we did have a conversation about it and I think the roof is fine.
Okay, good. That was my
We
only
always address
concern.
the roof with homeowners.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Other questions or comments from the committee?
No.
Questions or comments from abutters or other interested members of the public? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion on this application.
Make a motion that we accept it as presented.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 And aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oops.
I didn't vote on this one. I saw you. I'll phone you up at the end. By the time we get to the end, I'll get the extra lesson. Could have made it 6-0. Football score.
The next item on the agenda is 25-A030. It's, excuse me, yes, A030, to install 28 solar panels on the front and back roofs at 59 North Dennis Road. And as I indicated at the beginning, at the outset of the meeting, that application has been withdrawn, so we will not be hearing that tonight. So we will move on to the fourth item on the agenda, which is 25-D002. It's to demolish a barn at 165 Route 6A. Greg Belzekian is the owner. Christopher Weeks is the agent.
Good evening. I'm Christopher Weeks, owner-operator, Weeks on the Cape. I'm the guy hired to demo the barn. And this is,
I'm Greg Beliziki, I'm the owner of the barn.
I think you said 165, Route 6A? It's actually 169.
That's correct. I'm sorry. Thank you for correcting me.
Kurt Raber, I believe, submitted some letter supporting the application, saying the inside of the barn, represented demoing and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I can say that we originally were proposed to jack the barn up. We're going to move it over, put a foundation underneath it, and then put it back down. Unfortunately, when we demoed out the inside of the barn, we found out the barn was just definitely not worth salvaging. I did bring along pictures of the barn, if you'd like to see them.
And do you have the inside pictures as well?
Yes.
Okay, you do.
What did you say when you said you demolished it and you found what?
The inside of the barn just was not worth salvaging whatsoever. The whole box on the outside was infested with beetle bugs. You're familiar with those? Back in the 40s and 50s, it ate up all the beams on the box itself. And I think the barn was originally put on the ground and then over the years was brought back up again, and they put a brick foundation underneath it. It wasn't much of a foundation whatsoever.
The foundation is not structurally sound, it needs to be redone anyway.
Right, and it's completely dirt underneath. And most of the lumber inside the barn is today's conventional lumber. There's like really one beam in there that's any kind of date whatsoever.
Sorry, say again?
There's one beam in there that's any kind of date whatsoever. The barn was originally built in 1900. The house next to it was built in 1850.
Is that have you presented the entire application?
Say again?
Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to deviate from my usual practice in asking the committee for comments or questions because I have concerns as to whether we should be hearing this application this evening for two reasons. First of all, the letter that you referenced indicates that the thin fabric of the structure would need to be completely rebuilt to meet new energy code requirements triggered by the scope and cost, as well as the change in use from commercial to residential use. So we do not deal with
I don't
the
believe
purpose of the barn. That's
so
not our,
that's a
that's
mistake.
not our
it's a
purview.
mistake.
Well, no, it's, so let
Furthermore, my understanding is that there is a setback requirement for this barn that has not yet been authorized. Is that correct? A side setback requirement?
We have a ZBA meeting for,
But it has not, at this point, been authorized.
They told us to
So
come here.
this is a question of putting the cart before the horse.
But Mark
That
told-
has to happen before, in my judgment, but I'm going to ask for the opinions
Mark
of the
told
other
us to come
members.
here
Or-
first.
Excuse me, may I finish? I'm going to ask for opinions for other members of the committee and see if we are in sync on this issue. The other question is that we are losing our historic barns at an alarming rate in Yarmouthport. And it is my considered opinion that it would be worthwhile for everyone concerned for us to conduct a site visit, which would be publicized, public would be free to come, so that we can make an assessment as to the condition of the barn and as to whether we think it could be salvaged. So for those reasons, I think that it is problematical at this point for us to hear this application this evening, but I would value the opinions of others on the committee.
I would like to hear what Greg was going to say about his discussion.
What did you, Mark said what, and who is Mark?
Mark Grills, the building inspector, said to come here first before ZBA. This schedule was put together on his advice, not ours.
Okay, that's an opinion.
No, that's a fact.
It's an opinion that his opinion is what I'm saying.
Okay, then.
Okay.
well, we had a pre-hearing like before the application for the ZBA. And I believe that's what he said.
Okay, you are done with your application at this point? Okay, so I would invite comments or questions from the committee, especially relevant to what I just said.
So I would not be in favor of demolition without looking at it first. So I would want to see it first before I vote on demolition. And I also believe that we need to know if a change of use is going to be approved. If it's not approved, why would we authorize the demolition? Doesn't kind of make sense.
There's an error. It is supposed to be residential. It was used for commercial purposes by the previous owner, and I'm putting it back to where it's supposed to be. The building has been used not according to the town's
Bylaws?
bylaws. And I told Mark Grills the day I took it over that I understood that. I have to evict a couple people because they're not supposed to be in the building. But I want to get this barn done so it can be residential like it's supposed to be and not have to evict somebody in an illegal apartment.
So evict someone who was living there, you mean?
Someone's living in the big building and they're not supposed to be. There's supposed to be one apartment upstairs, commercial downstairs, and the barn is to be residential. It was being used for commercial purposes falsely, and I know that.
So you evicted the,
The commercial tenant, I evicted because I wouldn't want to put someone on the street that's not anything I'm interested in doing, particularly in today.
I didn't think our purview was the use of a building.
No, that's correct.
I also feel like Greg did what he got advice from the building inspector, the ZBA. I can see from the photographs that the building's in terrible shape, and I believe that when you say everything is rotten and can't be repaired or
Well, we were gonna,
substituted?
we were gonna lift the building and preserve it. And when we decided to lift it, we could cut the bottom off and try to keep the top, but that didn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. So we thought a full demo and a rebuild in a more traditional manner, like a barn with better lumber that will last 150 years versus trying to push something together. Then I have at 169, the larger building next door, the building was falling apart. There's been no maintenance done on either of these buildings. And I'm just trying to build them back so they're going to last and they're going to look better than they have been, and treat the property like Lighthouse Keeper's Pantry. It's a clean, orderly building. I own the building next door. I own Just Pick Gifts. Both are in great shape. Both are well-maintained. They both are historic in nature. And, I think my house in the same neighborhood is equally valuable. So I think that I know what we're doing, and I think that we have a good handle on the quality of the product that's there.
So, are you done?
I was going to say, from the photographs, it looks like a lot of new stuff has been put in, including floor joists. Or am I looking this upside down? I stapled it upside down. But so much of it has been replaced already, probably because it had to be. That's my opinion.
It was all done before, I just bought it. It was all done before I purchased it, and I can't say why or why not.
I've done some extensive research on it, and there was never any kind of building permits taken out on it. And, but there is at least 75% of it is new conventional lumber in there that's been replaced sometime between 1980 and 2000, from what I can see dated on the lumber.
So I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. The other thing is that, from my experience, if they're building in the exact same footprint, even though it doesn't comply with today's bylaws
Correct.
in terms of setbacks, and the height isn't changed, the overall height, although you could get whatever it is from the Board of Appeals if you did raise the building a little bit, I think, from my experience. But I don't think that will be an issue with the ZBA, since it already doesn't comply.
We've spoken to Laurel, who lives next door. We've talked about fencing around the project, and she understands what we're trying to accomplish as well.
I'm a little confused here on the, going to the ZBA for a side setback variance.
I am too. I'm excited to go and learn about why I have to do that.
Well, the only thing you've provided us to make a judgment on is on the septic plan. It shows the building to be 12 inches from the lot line.
Correct.
Correct.
Well, that would be pre-existing non-conforming, would
Correct.
it not be?
Correct.
So why the ZBA?
Ask Mark Grills. We're just following
That's
instructions.
what they required. It's
We
what they
also told
required.
you to come here first.
He did.
Yeah.
We follow our instructions that we're told. We're not here to make trouble. We're just trying to get a building
Right.
built.
Well, I think from the standpoint of this committee, if we were to, let's say, allow raising of the structure, and then for whatever reason it failed at ZBA, then the horse is out of the barn in terms of
Well, I
any
did think of that
preservation.
myself. I'm sorry to cut you up, but I did think of that myself, and I was wondering, can we put it on conditions of ZBA approval? Because, we do want to rebuild it like for like, same location, everything.
And I live in the neighborhood. People know where I live. I'm not gonna be able to get away with much, so it's not
We, by no means, I've already said this to Greg, we're not going to demo the barn anyways without ZBA approval.
When do you go to the ZBA?
24th.
So I'm curious, you mentioned that there's been a lot of repairs done with conventional lumber, and you're not going to use conventional lumber. What do you propose using for the new build if you're not going to use conventional lumber?
Oh, no, I am going to definitely use conventional lumber for the new building.
It's going to last 150 years.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Either you or Greg
I think
said
it's
the
a-
new building's going to last 150 years, and I'm curious, unless it's
We're-
timber framed, it's
well,
not going to last 150
We're
years.
gonna, it's gonna be, the construction style will be, it's gonna be built like a proper barn.
So was this one timber framed originally? The framing of it?
Say again?
Was this barn timber framed, the guts of it?
I think originally it might have been, but there is only 2 posts and 1 beam going across. And that one beam has been cut at 16 feet, and the barn is 24 feet wide.
Well, let's be clear, we don't have any control over what happens inside.
We're talking.
We only deal with the
But that's-
exterior
other than that, you
of the
can't-
structure.
Yeah,
And-
the only other thing on that is the box.
We're just kind of, I'm asking from the point of view of the condition of the structure, if it's salvageable or not, which I
Okay.
can't tell without looking at it.
I do have some more pictures. I do have some more pictures of the inside. I don't know exactly what you have there.
I'd love to do a site visit if we could. I think that would be really helpful.
It's not going to go anywhere till you guys say so, so take as much time as you like.
Is it really up to us in terms of what the structure is of the
In terms of the
building?
demolition,
What
is it
the
salvageable?
internal?
is it
No, I
salvageable?
just stated that we have no control over what
Right,
happens
I know. I
inside.
thought that
Right, but
Cindy
if the
was saying something a little
structure,
differently.
if the structure of the building is sound, the question is it salvageable? Is it?
The reason
I'm not-
that I question this is because when you look at the building, and no, I've not done a thorough inspection of the building, that's why I'd like to entertain a site visit. But the ridge is perfectly
Oh, yeah.
level.
No,
The sides of the building are not, there's no sag evident.
Why I bought it.
Everything's plumb.
Right.
It does not look like it's in terrible condition,
Right.
just on a casual observation of the exterior. So from that standpoint, I think it would, and from the standpoint of salvaging a historic barn in the heart of the historic district, we would like to, or I would like to, have a site visit so we can be satisfied that you're right or not. And since the zoning board is meeting,
They probably won't see us. I'll have to talk to Mark and see if they'll.
so once we get that hurdle jumped over, then we can properly deal with the application. That's my position. It's not going to be much of a delay, and it would satisfy me, and I think it would satisfy other members of this committee.
Right, especially if their meeting is the 24th, we need
That's
to
right.
we need to post any site visit we do
Yeah.
in advance. So it'll be happening in the interim. I mean, my personal feeling is we should not authorize any demolition without looking at it first, without the site visit. That's my personal feeling about any demolition in this entire town, so.
Not on a historic structure in the heart of the
That's what
historic
I
district.
was just going to, I was going to say that, relative to many of the houses that we do that are in this district, that are Cape houses that really aren't historic, but when you look at historic houses, the demolition of them, whether it's a barn or a house, I don't think any of those structures should be taken down without a site visit from the people who are going to make the determination. I think it's important because it's hard to see everything that needs to be seen just from a walk around. Now, this will be, I don't know, a couple of week delay.
We only meet once a month, so we'll be back in front of you.
No, we don't.
We meet twice a
We meet
month.
every 2 weeks.
Okay.
So I don't know if we can get the site visit in, and then you can get on for the next,
That's fine. I mean, I'm just a little surprised. I mean, our first application was back in January, and I have 6 open building permits on the house next door on the same property. And we just replaced the front porch on that property, and we did it exactly like for the old ones. Replaced the railings, we duplicated what was there before. I mean, we've met everything for historical reasons for it and stuff. I mean, all in favor for historical reasons. I even got a phone call from Lisa saying that the new one was a little too large and such, and we verified with the building committee and stuff that it's not. So we made that like for like as well.
but you didn't knock it down.
We tore down the whole front porch and
Front
rebuilt
porch.
it.
Fact is not like for like, but we're not going to
Yeah.
go into that tonight.
Yeah, there's much to be talked about with regard to that, but not tonight. It's not on the agenda. So we only discuss what's on the agenda. So we're discussing the barn at this point.
Okay.
Other comments or questions from the committee? Comments or questions from abutters or other interested members of the public?
I'm Sharon Hamilton. I live on 100 Wharf.
I'm
Lane.
sorry,
I just-
could you speak into the microphone?
I'm Sharon Hamilton. I live at 100
No,
Wharf
we can't hear
Lane. I'm Sharon Hamilton. I live on 100 Wharf Lane. I just want to know how you will know. Like, how will you know if it's out, like, what criteria will be used?
How do we know what?
Because I walk by it with my dog every day and it looks horrendous. So how will you know if it's salvageable?
By looking at the structure on the inside, the structural beams and all.
Other questions or comments from the public, or especially of butters? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion on this application.
So we move to table it?
That's what I would do.
Okay, I move to table 25-D002,
Pending a site visit?
pending site visit.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 I'm abstaining. Can I do that?
Yes, you may do that. Okay. She said she lives at 100. Oh, is it? Okay. So the next item on the agenda, I think we can all agree, is moot at this point, because it is to construct a barn at 169 Route 6A. The applicants have left the building, and so I think we will table that item as well. So can I have a
I
motion there?
move to
too?
table item 25-A031 to construct a bond pending the site visit.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor of tabling the application signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And aye. So we'll move on. The next item on the agenda is to replace 3 windows at 155 Mayflower Terrace. B and Ronald Parker are the owners, and Cape Associates, Inc. is the agent. And who do we have this evening?
Hi, this is Matt Davis from Cape Associates, representing B and Ronald Parker.
Okay, tell us.
Okay, so we're replacing, I don't know if you have the pictures, we're replacing a kitchen window towards the front, in the front of the building, and a rear bedroom window. It's actually 2 windows. I'm not sure why 3 got put on, but it's actually 2 windows. I have 3 pictures on the agenda. The second picture has the front window. It's the larger of the 2 in the front. We're just, the windows are getting pretty old, and they're starting to leak. So they want these two windows in particular, they want to replace.
Okay, tell us again, which is the one that you are not replacing?
We're not, I don't know.
How many
We're
windows are you replacing?
2.
So which one?
I don't know
It's-
why 3 got put on the application, but there's only 2 windows.
Okay, so the
It's the-
application
yeah.
says remove, replace 2 windows and 1 rear-facing window. Oh, I see, 1 front-facing window.
Yeah.
It's confusing the way it's written. It's-
Yeah, I think the wording was kind of weird.
Okay, so 2, got it.
Yes, 2 windows, 1 in the front, 1 in the back. Right now they're kind of like, I would say they're probably 30-ish years old Anderson windows, and we're replacing with new Anderson windows.
So Matt,
Yep.
can I ask you, so there's a number of pictures in here. It'd be really helpful if you indicated on the photograph which window you want to replace, but, so can you try to
So-
direct us which ones they are in the photograph?
Yeah, so if you look at the front, if it's the picture that has 2 windows, 2 separate windows.
I'm looking at the whole front facade, so there's a gable
Okay.
end sort of in the center.
Yep.
And is it the
So
ones to the
if
right
you
of
look at the
that?
whole front facade,
Yep,
do you see like the gable, kind of the gable that's in the middle of the house?
Yep,
We're replacing a window just to the right of it.
okay. And that's already been done, right? I saw that was plywooded over.
Covered, yeah.
Yeah,
already been removed?
the window glass got broken, so we haven't replaced the window yet.
Okay, but it's one of those two?
Yes,
Because you're two different
two there.
sizes, right?
yeah, it's the one on the left.
Okay. And that's going to be slightly different size, did you say, for the kitchen
It's
there?
just gonna be a little bit bigger,
Up and down or side to side?
side to side, same height.
Are those, what kind of windows are they?
So they're
They're not-
kind of
they're not really
interesting.
casements.
They're awning windows.
Huh,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're not super,
so like crank
Easy
out
to
and
use, I would
tilt
say.
out from the bottom sort of thing?
yeah, it's basically like a casement window, you know, on its side. It cranks out from the bottom.
So you're removing those two,
No, just that one.
and he's going to leave the other awning window there?
Well, he's putting a new one in. So you're putting in the new window is going to be similar to the existing, so it's going to look the same?
It's gonna look very similar. It's not an awning window, but it's a casement window.
So that'll be up and
But
down.
no, it won't be up and down. It
Casement
won't
is
be,
side.
it kind of be like, if you look,
Is it going to be
So I have
vertical or
the,
horizontal?
do you see the specs on the windows?
Trying to find it.
There's a handout of the Anderson window specs. You can see it. It's basically like 3 mulled units together in the front window.
You see any window specs?
I see floor plans, choice,
On the back of a
schematics.
sheet? It's on the back of a sheet? Do you, Cindy? and
This
Paul?
thing right
Very
here?
end.
So it says active, stationary, active. Is that what I'm looking at?
Yes,
It's
it's 2
96.
active windows on the ends and 1 stationary.
do.
Oh, and these are casements with grills.
No grills.
Okay,
No grills. The
pic-
whole house does, all the windows in the entire house do not have grills. So
Even though the
we're
picture
matching.
shows grills.
Yes, even though the picture shows
Okay.
grills, it's something that they do. There's no grills on the windows.
So, thank you for directing me to this Anderson thing. So it says the unit size is 96 inches wide, so that sounds significantly wider than what's there now, yes?
No, it's about, oh, no, sorry, you're looking at the window
Spec.
in the back.
I'll look at the spec, oh, that's for the back?
That's the back window.
I see.
The
So,
back window is 96 by about 4 feet tall.
does that have like a fixed central section and 2 casements that crank on either side of it?
Yes.
Okay.
Here. So one of the spec sheets that you're looking at has 2 windows. One of the windows is not being used.
Let's see this one.
It was ordered in error, but it's just on the order sheet. There's 3 windows on the spec sheet. Only 2 of them are being used. The 96 by 36
Yep.
unit is not being used.
It's the only one
That's all we
that- it's
have?
the only one that's in our packet, Matt.
I'm sorry. So the window that's being used is 72 inches by 36 inches.
And is
It's
it,
about a foot bigger than what's there.
It's a stationary window flanked by 2 casements,
It's 2 casements on either side of a
fixed window.
stationary.
Okay.
so the existing
All with
window
no
has
grills.
the existing window has a horizontal divider between the upper and lower panes, right? The new window's going to have vertical dividers, so that'll be sort of
Correct.
different?
Yes.
So it's this
like
upright
the
casement.
It's going to look, it's going to look kind of funny
stupid, right
next to the one that's horizontal.
Yeah, there is, I'm sorry, there is something to be said for this type of window in a house of this era, although I'm sure they're replacements, but I don't understand why the type is being changed, frankly. I think I agree with you.
The house was built in 1963. These aren't even probably the original windows in the house. I'm pretty sure they were probably done in the The windows were all done in the 80s at some time,
Right,
based on the look of the windows.
right. I just don't understand why you're not keeping with the awning windows, the horizontal.
I don't think the homeowner doesn't like the application of the awning window. This window is in a kitchen, and it's not conducive to use in the kitchen for, airflow and everything.
So the one to the right of that, Matt, that's staying,
Yeah, yeah.
that's an awning window. So I'm just concerned they're going to look kind of funny, two different styles side by side. If they're replacing both of them, I mean, the whole front of the house are all awning windows. Throw one casement window across that whole front of the house. Although, look, the gable end looks like it does have double hung.
Yeah, there's
So-
some double hungs in the bedroom windows.
And
Yeah, that smaller window is going, we want to get rid of that smaller window. So like in that section, in the section where those two windows are,
Yep.
we want to get rid of the small window
When?
and just enlarge the bigger window.
So is that part of the application?
Yes. Should
That
be.
wasn't,
Those are the
that
two
wasn't clear.
Sorry.
We want to
yeah.
get rid of the two windows and replace
Yeah.
them with a casement window that's wider.
Yes. So basically,
No
if
pictures.
you look at the front facade of the house, it would just be that one window. And it's kind of set under like a 2-foot overhang of the roof, and it's kind of separated from the house. It's set back from all the other areas.
I mean, I kind of feel like I would like to see the specs on the window, since the only spec I have in here is the one that you're not using. I would like to see the spec for what you are using. It'd be really nice to see a drawing of what it's
So the
going to
window-
look like.
Yeah, the window I'm using is in there. It's the unit is 72 by 36. I have it right here. It should be in your packet.
I think it is, but
I have it in my packet, which was part of the PDF that was sent out. I'm looking through it now, and the only window I don't see is the rear window. Yeah, for some reason, she didn't put the rear window in the packet.
I don't know how concerned we should be about the rear window.
No, I'm
Yeah,
not-
you can't really see the window
Exactly.
from anywhere other than from the backyard.
Cindy and
but yeah.
everything, so. I
The
see-
window,
I see on something listed page 3 that they actually have a plan showing where the window is going.
yeah, it's in a back, it's in the rear, one of the rear bedrooms.
Yeah, but we don't know what the window's going to look like.
It's
Within the context of the building.
it looks very similar to it's two gliding windows on either side of a picture window.
Gliding or crank out?
Windows on either side.
They glide or
Those
they
ones
crank out,
that one
Matt?
is gliding. So
Gliding.
it just, yeah.
Okay, I would like to request a copy of that spec, please, and also a diagram of what that facade is going to look like with a new window, because I just don't have enough information to make a decision, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I agree.
So you want a diagram of what the front is going to look like?
I want a spec of the window that you're proposing to use, because it's not in our packet, so we can't really vote on it if we can't see it. And I would like to see.
It's not?
No,
It-
it's not in our packet. Only the 96-inch windows in our packet. None of the front ones are in there, so I don't know what it's going to look like.
The 72 by 36 isn't in your packet? It's in my packet. I don't know.
Wait a minute.
And I would like to see, if it's not too much trouble, the whole front facade with a new window drawn in, what it's going to look like on that facade.
So,
Okay.
We do have.
so to summarize the concern being expressed here, We're looking for consistency, I think, is what is being said.
There's so many different windows in the front of
That's
the house
kind of where I'm
already.
coming from, too.
There's so many different windows, it's kind of, there's crank windows and
so
case
do we-
windows and awning windows.
Is it your opinion
just-
that
it-
we
it-
have
an awning
consistency
window-
now? And
There's no consistency now.
that's my issue. I'm thinking in terms of appropriateness and setting, and given the setting, and giving the fact that there's a variety of configurations already.
What difference does it make?
Exactly.
An octagonal window.
Are you putting in an octagonal window?
No, we don't have a picture of it.
No.
Yeah, I would like to see a drawing of the front of the building and the window you're planning to use, because we have no idea what the context is. An elevation drawing, you know?
Okay.
And the spec for the window that you're proposing, particularly in the front, Matt. Like Bob said, we're not as concerned with the back.
I have the spec here, and I don't know why it's
I think-
not in your packet.
I think we need a drawing of the
Because it
front
wouldn't-
of the building so that we can see what the building will look like with the new window. Then you can write the spec right on the elevation, so we only have to look in one place.
Just with the correct window, just whatever this spec is, but for the correct window. That's one, he said if we're not using this one, the only one he has in here is the one they're not using, so I'd like to see the
There-
spec for the one they are
Do
using.
you only have one Anderson window page
Yes.
in your packet?
Just one.
Yeah,
There's nothing on the back of it?
that is the back.
That is the back. There's a photograph.
On either back.
I don't know, because I printed the exact same packet from what
you
was
didn't. We don't have it.
issued, and
Move on.
I have it in there.
I think we need a building out, drawing of the front of the house with the new window in it. Do you agree? Do people agree with that?
I don't,
I mean, I just want to see
I
the
think
spec
we're
of the window
nitpicking.
itself.
frankly. So, but that's my opinion.
I mean, I
So
would,
that's why
I
we're-
agree with you that there's so many different styles of windows, it doesn't make a huge difference, but I want to see what they're putting in.
Well, let me ask you this. If you learned the spec of what he's going to put in, and it still looked like they shouldn't be there because they don't match, does it make a difference?
No, because I mean.
It doesn't make a difference to me either. So,
All right,
I
any
could-
other
so-
questions or comments from the committee on this application? Any questions or comments from the public, and especially abutters? Certainly would welcome one or two at this point, but apparently not. So, I will entertain a motion on the application.
Move to approve 25-A032.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor of approval of the application signify by saying aye.
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 Abstain.
Aye.
I'm going to abstain.
Okay.
I just feel like the application should include stuff we are asking to look at.
Okay, we've covered it now. It's been moved and voted on, so we're going to go on from this. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Did we have enough to approve it? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Bent out of shape.
Unproposed, yeah.
I mean, I understand. Bob's
Thank you very much.
I understand Bob's
Welcome. Thank you, Matt.
point. Why made him go through it? Because we're going to approve it eventually, but what if he puts in,
1, 2, 3.
Just annoys me when the applications are not approved. Drives me crazy, but I think in this place it's a disaster anyway.
They have to come back if only 3 people approve it? Do they have to come back if only 3 people approve it?
Does he have to come back? I can't understand you.
Never mind.
Okay, it's been approved, that's all I can say.
Oh, that's what I was asking. Okay. I just hate when people submit an incomplete application.
Okay.
We should issue.
The next item on the agenda is 25-A033. It's to install 3 new signs at 247 Willow Street. Boy Scouts of America is the owner, and J&J Sign Company is the agent.
I'm Amy Zahn. I'm the Executive Director at Cape Cod and Islands Council.
My name is Joseph Scott. I'm one of the owners of J&J Sign Company.
Okay. And tell us about your application.
So we are applying to install it's a new sign. The Boy Scouts currently have a sign at their office on Willow Street. We're looking to kind of modernize it to a point and bring it we're going to bring it closer to the street a little bit, but still be within setbacks. It's going to be at least 12 feet off the road. We actually did a sign exactly like this a year and a half ago for Camp Greeno.
Pine Street? Oh.
On Pine Street, yes. That was our first one we did last year. It's going to be the same size, the same specs, the same colors.
Nice.
Trying to keep the properties to have uniformity. We're also looking to add two 30-inch logos on either side of the entrance of the door. It's the Fleur-de-Lis, it's the Boy Scouts logo. You should have I'm pretty sure you guys have photos of all that. It's going to be made out of 3/4-inch PVC, as well as the circles. The posts are going to be 4x4 pressure-treated posts set in the ground with concrete. There's going to be a PVC sleeve over them. We're going to use enamel paint. It's pretty straightforward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Questions or comments from the committee?
I just want to say that the sign on Pine Street is fabulous.
Thank you.
And you're duplicating it, apparently.
Yep.
The only question I have, and this is apropos of absolutely nothing, the two little signs you want to put on the building, are they the colors of the Boy Scout emblem?
They are. I don't think there's any green in it.
Correct. They red, white, and blue.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if they were just dull or whatever, but.
No, the only
fine.
the difference between the two is that the background on the road sign will be green to match, again, the
Okay.
Camp Greeno one. The ones on the building are just going to be white.
So the existing sign that is there now, is it going that same place or?
No, we're going to move it. So if this is the existing sign, I know it's hard to see. We're moving it here. So it's the existing sign is set back probably 25 feet off the road. And since it's been built, there's been trees there and it's really obstructed. So it's really hard to see. And it's not really at the entrance of the building. So we're moving it closer to the entrance and closer to the road. But again, still within setback. We'll be at least 12 feet. And there's going to be 36 inches underneath the sign. So there'll be no reason for people that won't be able to see underneath it.
So it's closer to the driveway when you say closer?
Closer to the driveway and closer to the road.
And it's double-faced.
Double face, yes, sir.
What's the size of the sign in comparison to the existing sign?
The existing, this one, it's actually a little bit smaller than what's there now. You can kind of see it in the old sign in the photo that you have of the rendering. The old sign has a top to it that's got a roof and everything else. This one is just going to be two posts. The square footage might be slightly larger, but not astronomically. I don't have the exact measurements of the old sign in front of me.
Well, I think it's a
unfortunately.
handsome sign.
Could I thank the applicants for the clarity
Sure.
and simplicity of what we've received? Thank you.
You're welcome. We try to be thorough, so it makes it easier for everybody.
What a concept.
Any other questions or comments from the committee?
Can you write up all the applications?
If people pay me to do it, sure.
Any questions or comments from abutters or other interested members of the public? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion on this application.
Move to approve 25-A033.
I'll second.
I'll third it.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, congratulations. If one of you would kindly come up and sign this document, just in case you decide to change anything,
Thank you very much.
let us know.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
I have to say, we're really excited to be able to get it inside.
Nice looking sign.
It's a very nice sign.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
even present decent conveyance.
Oh, you mean about the windows? We're still back on the windows?
I know,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
obsessing. But that's where I get all,
Well, it just, to me, it's,
I know it's.
we can talk about it, but.
No, I understand what you're saying.
I'll explain my position to you.
Is that mine? Oh, is that this one?
Did you,
No,
oh, you
I
didn't sign it?
understand. I
Okay.
did sign it. No, I know what you, I think I know what you're thinking. It's in an area that, if we were allowed to.
Well, that's
That's-
kind
that's
of,
probably-
that's sort of the direction in which,
Say that area.
it's been just that kind of, I'll talk to you, I want to talk to you after the meeting. I will absolutely do that.
Camping on Ben Nevis,
Yeah. That's a more appropriate.
Okay.
being on the snow level line, over 10 pitch.
The next item on the agenda is 25-A034. It's to paint the front facade and shutters at 69 Freeboard Lane. Peter and Jane Eichmann are the owners.
Good evening. My name is Peter Eichmann. My wife Jane and I own and reside at 69 Freeboard Lane in Yarmouthport. And we are petitioning to get approval to repaint the clapboard on the front of the house, along with the shutters and the two doors on the front. The clapboard will be Western flax, and the shutters and the doors will be Newburyport blue.
Thank you. Questions or comments from the committee?
I just have one question. What are you going to do with the garage door?
Actually, we plan to paint that white.
It'll be white, and the trim will be white as well?
Trim is white, yes.
Okay.
So the proposed Newburyport blue, is that just a little bit darker than the blue you have now on the shutters?
I think that's Newburyport blue also.
You
I
have
think
now?
she's going to repaint it.
So it's just
yeah.
similar, okay.
Yeah, we have a chip in our, are you,
I'm just curious how it compared.
So close.
Looks, will be a nice combination.
I like your choice of the color for the clapboards.
Well, thank you.
That's what we painted our front clapboards.
Is that right?
Color, John? Exact same color?
sincerest form of flattery. Okay, other questions or comments from the committee? Questions or comments from abutters or other interested members of the public? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion on this application.
I
Move to approve 25-A034.
Is there a second?
second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. So, Peter, if you'd be kind enough to come up and sign this document, in case you decide you want to paint the clapboards brown, you'll let us know. Right there. I think it'll look very nice. Okay. Good evening. You're done, unless you want to stay and watch the rest.
You've seen the most fun part.
I'm thinking not.
The next item on the agenda is 25-A035. It's to replace a fence with a split rail fence and add a gate at 23 Red Jacket Road. Jennifer and Jonathan Constant are the owners. Pro Fence Company is the agent.
Hi, good evening. I'm Jennifer Constant. Currently, we have a split rail fence that runs across our front yard. It's kind of runs right through the middle of my flower bed. So what I would like to do is remove it and just put a new split rail fence around the perimeter of the flower bed. It would be a wood split rail fence, 3 feet tall, and have a gate on the side closest to the house.
So you're creating a kind of a cage for your flower bed.
Yes,
Okay.
that's basically it.
All right. Questions or comments from the committee?
No.
Questions or comments from abutters or other interested members of the public? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion on this application.
I move to approve application 25A035.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And aye.
Aye.
And aye. So, okay, if you'd sign this in case you decide you'd like to do something different, you'll let us know. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. I wonder who's going to be here for this. Left right after this.
Sweet moron.
The next item on the agenda is 25-A037 to install a fence at 221 Center Street. Sean and Lauren Greenow are the owners, and Cape Cod Fence is the agent.
Where are we?
I think you skipped one.
Did we skip one?
We skipped 10.
Oh, we did. Sorry. You'll have to sit down again. Jumping to conclusions here. 25-A036 to power wash and stain the chapel at 32 Summer Street. St. Francis Xavier Church is the owner. Good evening. Sorry about
My name is
that.
Barbara Peros, and I'm here, not supposed to be the one here, but I am here to speak on the proposal for the power washing and staining of the chapel at 32 Summer Street.
Okay.
Sacred Heart Chapel.
Okay, and you provided a sample.
Yes, because you ask for a chip or whatever, and because it's a stain, they don't have chips. So Harry, the man who is set out for the proposal, had taken it, a shingle and thought it was authentic enough with painting the stain on it, and that's what it would look like.
Okay. Questions or comments from the committee?
Just wondering why, I would like to see a darker stain of some sort.
Yeah, this looks significantly lighter. Well, when I looked at the building, I drive by there all the time. When I looked at it more closely today, I could see where some shingles maybe had been replaced over the years and didn't really have a whole lot of color. Some were faded. There was a big, huge variety in the coloration, but typically pretty dark brown.
Yeah. Well, it's a red cedar shingle, so when it weathers, it doesn't necessarily weather great. That is just weathering.
Is there a
It's
stain on
not-
there now? There's no stain on there now?
I'm sorry, what?
There's no stain on there now? So you're hoping to get it back to its natural color?
Well,
and
to
then
get
stain?
it power washed and bleached and to get it down to its, original. The stain, the shingles that you see that have been replaced was because of a fire.
Oh.
Somebody dropped a cigarette and it caught on the mulch underneath and it caught fire. And if it wasn't for the workmen across the street, the chapel would probably be gone. So that's where you see it on the front. And I don't know on the left side of the chapel where you see the other new shingles. I think that was power washed as possibly, and I don't know
for certain, to see how it would come down, how it would break down to get the stain off. But to the best of my knowledge, there is no stain on there. That is the wearing of the red cedar shingle.
Why?
There are products that can lighten it and take the oxidation out, the black oxidation. The biggest concern with pressure washing is that if you have too hard of a tip, you can really take away the life of the shingle. You can take the whole surface off and really decrease the useful life of your shingle. So that's just sort of a warning to be aware of. I don't know if you have something that you're planning to use to do the work.
It hasn't been determined formally yet, but they are looking at different bids.
So it sounds to me like you're trying to get back to like a natural cedar color.
Well, in the neighborhood, I mean, the shingles, having lived in old houses, the shingles do weather differently, and it's looking at a grayer one to sort of lighten it and, just improve the look of it.
But you'd be starting with this.
Well, that's the stain on top of it.
What I'm saying is, when they're done, this is what you'd get, and it would
No, it's-
dark, the one below.
The one at top is what,
This is the one that
yeah,
you're,
the grayish color.
oh,
Is this red cedar?
I'm so confused.
Not me.
Yeah.
So the stain is the gray part?
so
It's a
this
gray.
is the stain you want?
Yes.
Because the sign is, the stick, the post-it is on the other, so that's good to know.
I don't want to
All
throw
right,
anybody
so-
under the bus, but it's not my stick,
at the back
but
of
needless
it,
to
the
say.
back of it is
Yeah.
So it's
All
sort
right.
of more of a gray stain,
Right,
than a red
and
cedar
it matches some of the houses that surrounded across the street and
stain. Sort
whatever,
of a
but that isn't.
weathered cedar.
Yeah, you're sort of producing a patina in a way.
I like that.
Okay, all right, I'm glad, thanks for the clarification, I was totally,
Well, I'm glad you asked,
Yes.
because we'd be voting on the wrong thing.
that's right.
I'm just wondering what, would it make sense just to let it weather naturally, like the original?
It's weathering inconsistently. That's what it has done.
Well, also, the power washing is going to likely produce a surface that's not to their liking. So,
So brown to me.
yeah,
Seals it also.
Oh, it is also to seal it,
Yeah.
is what they thought with the stain.
It would also make the color consistent across the whole building, which
That's what we're hoping for.
okay.
I absolutely love that church.
You too.
So gorgeous.
Gorgeous. So what do people think of the color of the stain?
I don't mind it. I mean, I think the dark is just from oxidation.
Yeah, but that's what
Mine
happens with
turned
red
that color.
cedar, right?
Yeah, but I have white cedar, I think, but it's that
Well,
color.
okay, so, any other questions or comments from the committee? Questions or comments from abutters or other interested members of the public? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion on the application.
I move to approve 25-A036, St. Francis Xavier Church.
Well, that's the Sacred Heart Chapel is what that is, which is part of St. Francis Xavier.
Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I'm going to abstain because I'm very
Aye.
ambivalent.
Aye.
And aye.
Ambivalent.
So if you'll kindly sign this in case you decide to change the stain or anything else relevant to the project, you'll let us know.
I'm
Yes.
just not wearing my glasses.
Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like to wear my? These are 2.75s. If you-
Butter progressives.
That's really my area.
Well, I tell myself that's my area. I'm not sure anymore.
Unbelievable.
14th, yeah. Thank you very much.
Because one's good and one's bad at that point for like 2 weeks. So it's really, you can't get the full idea until they're both done.
Put a new lens in so you can see better.
Unbelievable.
Mine are just sort of halfway bad.
Okay.
Know him?
I just don't want to start talking until he's done.
Thanks for your patience.
Thank you for having me.
And now, the next item on the agenda is 25-A037 to install a fence at 221 Center Street. Sean and Lauren Greenow are the owners. Cape Cod Fence is the agent.
I'm Sean Greenow of Center Street. We're going to put up a solid, semi-solid stockade fence going down the east side of the property on the property boundary, going down about 160 feet down the property. There's an existing 3 triple split rail cedar that's going to be replacing the first 3 sections in the photo after the fence gap, which there's no fence in there, no gate gap. And in the backyard where we have a fenced dog area, we're going to run the same split rail as in the dog area and in the front of the house to connect from the existing pen to the new stockade to make another fenced area.
Okay. Questions or comments from the committee?
So you're going to leave the split rail, like 2 sections of it there, and then there's a break?
Yep.
And then you're going to start your fence. Are they going to connect, or are you going to leave the break there?
Well, the break is there because there's the cedars planted right on the property line.
Okay.
And it's inconvenient in some spots to remove the cedar simply to put a post
Okay.
in. So the gap will stay.
Okay.
Other questions or comments from the committee?
So I'm in favor, the fence looks great to me. I'm unclear about connected to the dog enclosure. So
So the back,
it's running the whole length of the property line, then it runs in, or?
it goes, the stockade goes straight down the
Okay.
property line. The triple split rail will run from the existing fenced area across to the new stockade.
Okay.
On both the go east to west on the north and southern end of that piece.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions or comments from the committee? Questions or comments from you two ladies or any other interested members of the public? Apparently not. I will entertain a motion on the application.
Move to approve application 25-A037.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. So, Sean, if you'll sign this, in case you change your mind on any aspect of the project, you'll let us know.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. Okay, good luck with it.
No one's knocked out with a sign tonight, Bob. Some people and no one's knocked out with a sign.
Not yet. There's still time. I thought the guy with the Boy Scouts would have done it.
I'm not sure the sign.
My Did he just say my chan?
Someone said something. Hello? So driving down to that church today. House to the right of that.
I know, it's beautiful. I think it looks great.
Could it come back this way, please?
Did you sign?
Oh, sorry.
Not, less gab, more
She's
signing.
She's looking at houses.
Beginning of Alzheimer's. There you go.
Okay, the final item on the agenda tonight is 25-A038. It's to install a fence at 32 Driftwood Lane. Kayla and Daniel Shell are the owners. Allstate Fence is the agent. And I believe we have Kayla online.
Yeah, you have both Kayla Shell and Dan Shell here, 32 Driftwood Lane. Thanks for taking us here this evening. As you have on the proposal before you, we're just looking to install a mix of 4-foot and 6-foot privacy fence on the east side of our property connected to our house. Mostly just to give some space for our dog to run around, but also some privacy fencing around our neighbors.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's about it. Happy to take any questions you have.
Questions or comments from the committee? I just have one. Your sketch here, can you orient me on this? As I see that you've got house indicated, but it's not much detail. So
Yeah,
it's a little hard
I
to,
think-
from this, this doesn't really quite qualify as a plot plan, I would say. So,
Yep. Yeah, so I think the photos help that the basically where that black rectangle is, where it's labeled deck.
Yep.
That line there, where the 8-foot wide double gate, that runs along the front facade.
Okay.
To our, I guess that would be the far easterly property line, and then we'll shoot around back, and then all the rest of this is the east property bound, and then the north property bound on the back side of the property. So the only piece that's visible from the front would be that front piece with the 8-foot wide double gate, the 4-foot high fence.
thank you for that. Any questions, other questions or comments from the committee? Is anyone online to comment from the public? Apparently not. I'll entertain a motion on this application.
Move to approve application 25-A038.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And aye. So, you're all set? Good luck with it?
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. That's pretty good. Shorter than the last meeting.
Fences
Someone who couldn't put the cedar roof.
approvals. Motions. Sorry.
Did it come back this way?
Did, I think you took it. Unless I put it in my, no, I didn't put, did I? Did we get,
Didn't come this way.
it didn't?
I didn't do it. Hasn't come. Not guilty, Your Honour.
Did I take it?
Okay, let's find.
It's part of the justice. Things to this.
Xavier Church. Pass it that way, did I
Sorry,
not?
I think I have, in my haste to get to the minutes, I do apologise.
That's-
I've been trying to secrete the approval away.
As long as it was your fault and not mine, that's all that matters.
I was falling over myself apologising, Chairman.
That's good, that's good.
I have to apologise, Sarah.
I was certain that I had done that, because
just
it would be
gone like
just
that.
like me. Those minutes.
Can't stop.
Okay. We need to approve the minutes of the March 24th meeting. Do I hear a motion to approve
Move
the
to
minutes?
approve the minutes of the March 24th, 2025 hearing.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Good. All in favor of approval of the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I wasn't here, do I have a right to vote?
I
I abstain, I wasn't here.
Okay, well, that's all right. I'll say aye. We have a quorum approving, so we're good. The next meeting is April 28th of 2025, and I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Seconded.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. We are adjourned.